before we, jump into kind of the breakdown of what we're getting into. Right, first, a lot of these drills are working on fundamentals. So, the 5 steps I like to talk about when breaking down goaltending and efficient goaltending is our eyes are the first thing that reacts, our hands, we're stepping properly, we're bringing our body, and we're finishing nice and balanced how we started. So those 5 things: eyes, hands, step, body, balance. And then a lot of these are very deliberate practice, I like to call them. So very intentional in breaking certain points of our fundamentals down. So we're going to do a lot of step work, maybe some reaction time drills, and ball tracking. And, from what you see behind me, right, I'm not outside. I'm going to be using a few balls in my hand potentially, maybe a stick. You don't need that much to get better. So those are the 3 main points I kind of want to just get across before we get going here. But hopefully you guys can note those down, and excited to jump right into it. So first thing, right? So biggest thing I think for me before I even step into the cage, and what is the money maker of being a goalie, I think, is your hand-eye, right? So right now, something I like to do when I was younger. How do you guys? Can you see me well? Am I good?
Hold on. I just started talking. Let me go. Yeah, we can see. Yeah, perfect.
Right. So no matter what the age is, something I like to do even before I hop in the cage, is just mess around with a ball, right? Whether it be 1, 2, 3, depending on how old you are, we're just having a catch with ourselves, tracking that ball, waking our hands and eyes up, right? Very simple, right? But an easy way to really warm up the hands, warm up your eyes. All right. So that's 1. Okay. Hopping into their second one, 2 ball juggle, 1 hand. Okay. So right here, this is pretty advanced, but something I like to do as you get older, right? I was never good at this when I started doing it, but through repetition, through practice, I was able to develop this kind of skill and just watch those balls come up and down, right? Making sure my hands are right below it. All right, that's 2. Third one, right? That might be a little more advanced for some of you guys, but one way to start, really getting into juggling is just with 2 balls, right? So we're here, we're doing that first movement of right and left, up and down, right? So once you master this movement here, you can join that 3rd ball to the party, and now we're getting it going. We're looking like a clown at the circus, right? An easy way, I'm sure a lot of, you coaches, you young players, just an easy way before you get in that cage, right? Waking up those hands, waking up those eyes. All right, so that's the biggest emphasis, I think, of right this hand-eye. I think juggling is an easy way to get better, something to do in the backyard, but it's just this motion right here. Switching back and forth, right? I did this, I think, 1,000 times before I even started to really juggle. All right. Awesome. All right, great. Now moving on to our footwork. All right. Some easy footwork drills that I like to do before, like I said, hopping in the cage. All right. Hopefully you guys can see that. We got a ladder down there for later. Okay. So just a shaft, a D-pole, regular stick works. All right. The way I like to describe our footwork and in our stance, it's the foundation of our stance, right? I'm in the basement of my house right now. That's the strongest part of our houses, the basement, right? That's the strongest part of our stance. That's where we feel that ground. We get a lot of our power when we're stepping, from the ground. So having a good foundational base, feeling, the balls of your feet, we're not on our heels, we're not on our toes, nice and sound. That starts with our feet and our fundamental footwork. So right here, something I like to do, right? This could be a line on a football field, a shaft like I have. I'm in my fundamental stance, right? And I'm just jumping over this line, jumping over this shaft, right? Notice how I'm trying to keep my feet same width apart, right? I'm not trying to keep them close like this. When are we ever in the cage like this? Never, right? Keep your feet that same width apart and that good athletic stance. That's an easy way to warm our feet up. All right. Once we warm them up, then we're going to 1-foot hops. 1-foot hops, right foot to start, right? You can do this for a minute, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever. All right, left foot hops now. Left foot lateral, right? Lateral's very key as a goalie. Exploding left to right. Good. All right, now we're gonna switch this around, right? You can use a shaft, like I said, you know, a yard marker on a football field. Same thing. 2 feet over that shaft, right? I'm not here. This isn't how I play goalie. That's not practicing good habits. I'm here. Nice athletic base, ready to make that save. All right, same thing. 1 foot now. 1 foot, right foot, left foot. Good. Right? Something really easy. Easy way to get better. If you're in the backyard, you know, you're waiting for your mom and dad after school to pick you up. You're a coach that, you know, you need some goalie time, something you can use. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath here.
You're gonna be exhausted by the end of this training session.
Yeah,
Huh?
right? All right, a good variation of this. All right. Quadrants, right? You break this up into 4 spots. All right. Usually on a football field, you have it, a turf field. 4 spots. And as you notice, as I'm doing a lot of these footwork drills, my hands aren't down here, right? They're always up. Really working on that hand discipline, not letting our hands drop. That's key as a goalie, efficient movements. All right, so here, same thing. In my stance, breaking down in each quadrant, then reverse. Each quadrant. Right, very easy. Getting that heart rate up. Reverse again. And same thing, right? You could do that with 1 foot. Really just getting to feel the ground with my feet. And I think that is a very underrated trait for a goaltender to have no matter at what ages, right? It's really big to make sure that you feel where your feet are, feel what you're doing, and you're making, you know, those efficient movements. So, good. All right, going on.
She got upstairs and said, all right, let me look and check, see what we got and put it back up.
So I'm gonna get my brother in the picture here.
Took the toys out for her. And then I came back in because her
Here's,
daughter.
my younger brother, CJ.
What's
up, guys? How we doing? He volunteered to help
Hey.
out.
There he is. Was he waiting off? He's waiting off stage for
Yeah,
his
he's
moment to
waiting
come
off
on.
So today's gonna hold this band. I'm sure a lot of you coaches and players have done this before, right? He's gonna hold it right behind me. Okay. You can do this with another goalie if it's a backup, right? He could be in the cage, whoever it is. There, you got 6 goalies. One guy could be in the cage. Coach is up top, ready for shots, right? We're just imagining this. CJ doesn't even have to be here. We could use this pole if I wanted to, but this band didn't really work there. So, right, we could put this against a pole, right? CJ is giving me whatever resistance I'm comfortable with, and I'm just imagining shot or seeing a shot, really working on that movement, right? I'm here, take that band away, right? Losing that resistance, feel just as explosive, more explosive than before, right? And we can vary this up. Always layers to this stuff, right? Working on my 6-side step, right? 6-side here. Very easy. We can put this band, you know, on that pole, like I said. Don't need anyone to help me out. Just myself working on these movements. Now, other side, same thing, right? So this band, I think I bought it at, I don't know, maybe a Five Below, right? So not super expensive, but an easy way to really work on that explosiveness as a goaltender. All right, so getting into our last footwork drill here. Right, simple ladder. I'm sure a lot of you goalies in high school, club, coaches, I really suggest grabbing a ladder for your goalies or even defensemen. Right? In all these drills, the idea I looked up in middle school, high school time, just football, tennis, whoever that, you know, basketball players that have great feet and need to move well laterally. That's, you know, the people that I kind of studied, right? So simple 1 foot all the way through. That could be 1 left foot going back, 2 feet in, right?
Fresh fruit, chip.
Same purpose, feeling that ground, 1 foot through the whole time. Then we can get a little more advanced. We're on the side, only right foot in. Right, same thing going back, only left foot.
Now help
Then
yourself.
we can get into skis. Right, left foot leads. Right, and then my favorite one, the Yicky shuffle here. Right, biggest purpose.
I'm yelling
And I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but you're feeling that ground with your feet, right? That's the biggest key with our footwork. And these are all drills you guys can, 1, do on your own, 2, do it before practice, before you even get warmed up. But you don't really need anyone, right? That's the biggest purpose, right? You can be getting better on your own and not with much.
Couple questions from folks on what do I do if I don't have a ladder? I would say get one. I mean, they're like $10. Ask for one for Christmas. They're not expensive at all. It's a great investment. You're going to use it a lot. You can, pretend you have a ladder there. Nothing to say, nothing to say you can't do that drill without a ladder, but I think it really helps, mentally,
Absolutely.
visually, all that stuff to have it.
Yeah, I think even on like football fields, those yard markers between 5 yards, those are perfect to use. Put a shaft down or something. But envisioning that area is big. So, all right, awesome. Moving on here. So, right, hand eye, first one, footwork, second one, and now we're going to kind of mix the two a little bit into a ball toss progression. So this is where CJ is going to come back in here. All right. He's going to be on the side.
I tried to get her to come in tonight.
I'm going to take my goalie stick, put it down. Good. All right, let's see this views here. Good, perfect. All right, awesome. Something I used to do growing up, even elementary school, middle school, would do it before a lot of my college games, and still do it on my own, right? And this is with a coach, so a little bit different, or with a mom, sister, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, right? So I'm putting my stick down right there. I'm going to be straddling that white shaft. So I'm going to be here in my ready position, right? I don't need any of my equipment, cleats if I'm on the turf, but right now I'm wearing sneakers and I'm ready to go. All right. He's going to go 1 in each spot. Biggest thing, right? We have this shaft here to focus on the last 3 parts of those 5, key fundamentals of making a save, right? We said eyes react, our hands, we're stepping, body, and we're nice and balanced finishing, right? So really working on step, body, and balance here, right? The biggest point, right? We're not worried about the speed of the toss. We're here. CJ's throwing it, finishing how I'm started, straddling that stick, okay? Nice and balanced, watching that ball the whole way, finishing how I started, all right? You can go 2 in each spot. Right? Work your way down, stick side high, off stick side high, hit low. Okay? So really emphasizing our step, our drive step off that back foot. Okay? That lead foot, getting outside that path of the shot. Right? Biggest thing, especially in this, is we don't want to have goalies make saves outside their body. Right? I don't want to be here. Right? Really work on that 45 or that 30-degree step to make sure, hey, if my stick doesn't get it, my body's there. And we're going to get into a couple drills later that really emphasize that point. All right, so a few layers to this we can add, right? CJ can pick up 2 balls now. So he has a ball in each hand, and he's going to do swings, okay? So he's going to be swinging. So we're working on our patience here as a goaltender, right? There's a lot of times throughout a game or a practice, an attacker might throw a quick fake. We don't want to bite on that. Right? If we bite on that, that gets us out of position. We want to stare at that stick head as long as we can. Once that ball is released, that's when we're aggressive and explosive with all of our movements. All right, so CJ's got 2 balls. He's swinging them. He's only releasing 1. Whenever I'm watching that ball out and I'm attacking it, right? He can do it whenever. He can do it at 5 swings, 1 swing, right? I'm on the balls of my feet and I'm ready to go. All right, so that's really working on patience. That's a big one. All right. Moving on to the next one. CJ's going to pick up 2 different color balls. Okay. So even adding a layer onto this, 2 different color balls. Now he's going to continue to swing, but he's releasing both of them and he's saying a color, but I'm only making that save, right? So he's going to swing, throw both of them, only saying one color, and I have to make that save, right? The closer that tosser gets, the harder it is. The further away he gets, the easier it is, right? But still working on that patience aspect of being a great goaltender. All right, so CJ's going to swing them. Orange. Oh, I'm throwing both. Yeah. Yellow. Good. Right, picking up another one, 2 different colors. Orange. Right, working on that peripheral vision, that hand-eye, right? I got to watch both balls that whole time. Yellow. But I can only react to one. All right, so I think, right, yeah, just be creative with some of these drills, add layers to it, right? We could do 3 balls. We could do orange, yellow and white, and he could be holding him here and then throwing them at me, right? So being creative is the biggest thing. But this drill really working on that back foot drive step, finishing how we started on the other side of that shaft, reading and being patient with the stick head or the tosser holding that balls and attacking it when that ball's released. All right, awesome. So that is the ball toss progression that I learned growing up and used throughout my high school, college career, and even now. All right, so now we're going to get into some of our stick drills, right? So, right, I'm in my basement right now. Not in the backyard, which I wish I could be, but right, we're doing what we can and what we have. So, biggest thing, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about this drill. I think it's been around as long as time. Walk the line. All right, so I'm going to imagine this imaginary line. If I'm on a football field, something I can use the restraining line, right, whatever. I just need one line. All right, so trying that line similar to how we started in that ball toss drill. Just imagining different spots, different shots, right? So off stick side out, stick side hit, right? Off stick side hit, low, side pull, right? Really working on that step and those save mechanics, right? And I think a lot of proper save mechanics comes through, a lot of repetition. And, you might not be seeing shots here in this particular drill that you're doing by yourself, but making stick side high saves, just like here, working on that movement, that proper movement and stepping. That's really key to making those fundamental saves and being as efficient as we can. All right. Right, we can add a layer to this now. Right, instead of that line being there, we can add objects outside the frame of the goal that emphasize us stepping hard, right? So I can have my couple balls on the ground, right? Outside.
Can you tilt the camera down a little bit?
Yeah, sorry. Good. Right, so this is the frame. I don't know if you guys can see them. There's one ball here, right? Now I'm really emphasizing that drive step that we worked on before. Stepping outside that frame, driving hard, imagining in my stick, right? And as you guys notice, my nose is behind my stick the whole time there, right? So getting that nose behind the ball really works on getting our body behind the ball too. Sorry, did you have a question here? Or anything?
I think we're all good. All good.
All right, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on. All right, great. This is a drill I love to do. All right, so as you guys see, we got our frame of our net behind us on this wall here, right? And we got 6 spots. So 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, and 6. All right. So right now, this is working on those save mechanics we talked about and really drilling, those motions down through repetition. So we can do this on my own, right? So I could just be facing this goal, this imaginary goal, what I have here, or I could be in a neck, right? And just in my head and in my athletic space. 1, 1, 4, 3, 3, 6, 6. Right? That was the first layer to it. I wasn't stepping. Right? I wasn't stepping. I was keeping my feet in cement, I like to call it. Right? Really working on getting my hands and my nose behind that ball. 2, 3, 4, 6, 5. Right? Now I can start stepping. I got my brother in the background. He's just going to say a random number. Right? Still working on that patience aspect of being a goaltender. All right. So here he goes. He's going to say a number here. 2, 3, 6, 1, 5. Awesome, right? Something you guys can even do, you can make a recording of yourself, right? Vary it up. Say 1, wait a couple seconds. 2, 6, 5, right? Keep your feet in cement for the first layer, really working on those hands, driving your hands to the ball, that nose behind your stick. Then maybe add stepping, right? And once you kind of do that through repetition a lot, maybe change the next video, different, different numbers and different orders. So something you can do on your own. Just gotta work hard at it, right? You got to put the time in, whether that make that video or ask mom or dad to come down to the backyard or the basement and just say random numbers. All right.
Yeah, and get creative with it, right? Like if you just have a goal and you don't have the numbers on tape on the wall, that's fine. Like just use the numbers to represent the different areas of the goal.
Absolutely. All right. A very similar drill to this, to the last one, right? I'm almost gonna want 2 balls on pipes, right? So I want to imagine that I'm inside the frame of the goal. 1 pipe's here, where this ball is, 1 pipe's here. All right, I'm gonna take a step back. All right, I'm in my ready stance. The ball on my left, I like to call 1. The ball on my right, I like to call 2. All right, for the first couple repetitions, we're gonna do all high right now, right? All high. So if I got a coach, mom, dad, sister, brother, whoever I can grab, all I need to do is say 1 or 2. All right, so CJ's luckily he's volunteered for this session here, and he's gonna say 1 or 2, and I'm gonna react all high right now. 1, 1, 2, 1. Good, all high, right? And then we break it down. We go low, we go hips, right? So something, if you don't have a shooter, very easy you can do on your own, right? Hips. 1, 2, 2. Right, low, and then we can, add layers to it, whatever you want to do. All right, something, like I said, really easy you can do on your own. Grab whoever you want.
One thing I want to call out for the young goalies is just watch how he resets.
So I'll be ready to work on the grant on the 27th.
Reset that weight,
28th.
right? And being
December
able to do
20th.
that in this drill, but also
And
when
what
in a
else?
game, super important. So take note of that.
Yeah, inventory. So
Those
I was thinking
those last three aspects of those, the 5 steps to making a save. Step, body, balance, right? Finishing balance, resetting balance.
James wants.
Great. Now we're gonna kind of get into
So I already had remove
the
old
3
lights.
things I mentioned
One was
before:
burnt.
stepping,
I'll
tracking,
build
and
it.
reaction.
He took all
So
that
those
out.
are the 3 categories. I have a couple drills
Really by
under
like
each
the
one.
wireless,
And that first one, we're gonna work on stepping.
They work
Right, so a lot of our footwork drills we were doing before that emphasized
It's
stepping,
26 hours.
but now we have the stick in our hand. We
My
might not
dog,
have a
like,
shooter
he
at
runs away.
home,
As soon as he gets outside, he walks
and we
over
want to
the
grab our mom,
But
dad, uncle,
anyway,
grandpa, whatever,
So
right?
he emailed
And now they're gonna help us. They're gonna ball toss to us, and we're gonna work on our stepping. So, first
asked him
one,
how much
right?
Were you copying the email?
You can do this with the shooter or without.
He
I'm gonna be in the frame of that
so
tape
much
goal
charge,
behind
only
me.
wasn't out front, and
Okay.
across the street in the parking lot.
Just making sure we're good here. All right. In the frame of
What
this
is
tape
doing?
goal, right? If I don't have a shooter, this is how we'll do it.
I don't get it.
All right. I'm either on this pipe
The doors. Yeah.
On one pipe, you have the whole goal to shoot
Yeah,
at.
we could have got.
Or I want to make it a little
We could've got
harder.
some-
I'm splitting that pipe right down the middle of my body, outside that goal. All right, so you can either be in the goal on this pipe or outside the goal, splitting your body right down the middle. Okay, so I'm here in my ready stance, and I'm working
And
on
everything
that
I need to-
explosive
Did you email
drive
feedback
back
to you guys?
foot step.
Email.
Okay, so I don't need anyone to say
Yeah,
a
you can.
number. I can just use
This
you
is-
know, my
This is
imagination.
everything.
Work on my stick side hip shot for now. This first shot, right? Here we go.
Well, it all depends.
Good. Stick side hip.
Because they don't always have it.
Stick side high.
So this
now.
order could look totally different next
Good.
week.
As you can see, I'm really emphasizing that drive
Yeah,
step, right?
that's-
At points in a game or a practice, you might not want to step
Right.
this hard,
Reduce it.
but doing this helps you really feel that sensation, that body movement of fundamentally driving off your back
We
foot.
might.
Okay,
We
so
might, 'cause we
right,
do-
stick
yeah.
side low. I'm on
Sparkling water we order.
Or I'm splitting it.
Yeah.
Right
I
down.
don't know.
There we go. Awesome. Same thing on the other side.
But
Here, ready, stance. Eyes react and step body balance. Now I'm back. Right, something you can do on your own. All right, footy drill. This is an awesome drill that John Galloway came up with. I think there's a couple viral clips of him warming up with the Rattlers, doing that. So CJ's gonna hop back in here. He's gonna have a bag of tennis balls with him. All right. Just like the last drill, we're working on that drive foot, right? The way I like to put it, in just the simplest terms, right? When we're making a save, the most fundamental way of doing it, right, off that drive foot, if we were a car, right, our gas is what makes us go, our steering wheel is what directs us, okay? So that back foot is our gas, and that lead foot is our steering wheel. That steering wheel we want outside the path of the shot, right? So if that means that steering wheel is that lead foot is outside the path of the shot, I don't get it with my stick, my body's there. Okay? So that's what we're working on here. We're working on getting that lead foot outside the path of the shot. We get scored on 5-hole drill. In this drill, we're doing it right. Okay, so CJ's gonna hop up. No, you're over here. All right. Whoever you have tossing you the balls, direct them to aim to the bottom left or right corner. If they can, have a good stick, you can have them roll it, right? But if they don't know how to play lacrosse or don't have good stick skills, just have them roll it with a bowling ball. Okay, so I'm in the goal. CJ's a couple yards below me. He's just rolling it bottom left or bottom right.
not that.
I'm here, I'm stepping. I'm not reacting like a low shot, right? We're working on body discipline, hand discipline here as well, right? All I want you guys doing, keeping your hands up. You're in your ready stance. CJ rolls it, and I'm stepping,
most likely
getting
up
squared
front,
on
so.
5-hole. Okay?
Because it's not back here.
Do a couple here. Can you guys see it?
We're good.
Yeah?
Well, actually, you got to say something now. The camera's back on me.
You guys see it? You good? All right. Here we go. CJ rolls it, keeping my hands up, getting squared on 5-hole. Rolls it, getting squared on 5-hole. All right, a great fundamental drill to work on stepping. All right, awesome. Next drill here. I like to call this lanyard drill, right? So if I got an old shoelace, extra string line around the house, I put this through my stick, all right? Here, right? Most efficient way I like to describe where we want our hands are, all the way out, halfway in. So this is kind of where this string goes, all the way out, halfway in, right? If I have my stick inside this string, it's going to restrict me a lot from exploding and driving my hands to the ball, right? So that means I really got to work on that step and making sure I'm getting my body behind there. Because if I go for an off-stick side high shot, oh, that's going to hurt, right? That's not going to feel good. So coaches, be careful with who you do this drill with. But if you want to, goalies, you want to do this on your own, right? I'm here, a shooter, mom, dad, whoever, tossing me a ball. right? I'm making sure I'm exploding, right? Not necessarily working on our top hand drive on this drill, right? Really working on getting our chest or nose behind the ball, right? Especially on low shots. This is a great one to use for low shots, right? Bringing everything to the party, right? Rather than bending from our back, right? This is making us really squat down, get our butt low, almost like a foot step, right? So I'm here.
Lori, her toys out there?
Same thing. All right. So really focusing
Her toys out
on
there?
that stepping aspect of making a save. All
Allowed it.
right, and a drill that I think has gotten a lot of popularity in the past couple weeks is this one knee down. Right, so I want to start on one pipe. I got my drive step foot down, my steering wheel lead foot knee down. All right, I'm gonna have a coach. I don't even need to see a shot here, right? Whoever I can get, ball toss, or I'm doing this on my own, working on all one movement, driving off that drive step right here. Good. Now I can go other side, right? Good. Here. Right, one fluid motion as best as you can. It's definitely an awkward sensation, but it's working on that back foot drive step. Here. Good, last one. All right, so right, those 5 drills working on stepping on that one pipe, John Galloway's footy drill, that lanyard drill, and one knee down. All right. Great. Now working on some reaction stuff. Okay, so this is going to need to use, like I've been mentioning a lot during this time, brother, sister, coach, whoever you can grab. And you could use it with a short stick, a shaft, not even, right? You could be at the beach and you have a wiffle ball and you want to be doing this type of drill. So this is working on reaction, right? So if I'm with my brother CJ over here, he's going to be lined up not too far away from me with a ball in his hand. And we're working on turns here. All right, so kind of simulating maybe a quick feed inside from X or, just having to get set quick and in an athletic stance to make a save. So CJ is going to do almost like that drill in football, right, where you see it a lot on Hard Knocks maybe, where the wide receiver's here, QB says turn, and he's got to react quick to make that catch, right? So you could do this with a football. I have one here, right? Even with a football, working on that reaction time. I'm in my ready stance, my hands are up, turn, right? Step, body bounce. So now he's going with the regular ball, turn. My stance, I'm turning around as fast as I can, whether it be left shoulder open up or right shoulder, right? So doesn't matter, really just working on turning as fast as we can and that reaction time. Turn. Good. Last one. Turn. Right? And as you get a good rhythm, you can have whoever's releasing that ball say turn while the ball's in the air, right? So it makes it a lot harder. But really working on that reaction time, finding that ball as quick as you can. All right, another drill here that I like to do, especially during this the winter time, right? You're after school, you have access to a wall inside, right? I think wall ball is a very underrated, tool that goalies can use to maximize their stick skills, but also just the reaction time and working on the fundamentals that we all talked about. So right now, we're just going to get into looking at the wall and having whoever you can grab throw a ball with a lacrosse stick or their hand at the wall while you're facing it, right? So this is something that's really hard for some goalies because, one, you don't have that opportunity to find that stick head and track that ball, right? You're looking at a wall, a blank canvas, and you're trying to find wherever that ball hits, and then you got to make a save, right? So really working on just that reaction time, finding the ball as quick as you can, and bringing everything to the party fundamentally correct. So if I am facing this wall, right, we'll demo as best as we can. CJ's going to be behind me, right? So he'll be behind the computer. He'll have a tennis ball so he doesn't make a hole in the wall, the drywall, right? We don't want that. Right? I'm in my ready stance. I'm facing the wall. He throws it whenever. I'm trying to make that save, right? Really working on patience here as well. Because I could be staring at this wall for the next minute and CJ could just be tooling with me, right? Or he could go quick, right? Working on patience, that ball tracking. He throws it. I'm making that save. All right. So really working on that reaction time. Those two drills there, turns and, looking at the wall. So ideally, right, you need a coach or someone to help you out with those. Something you could use on your own, which I hope you guys can find useful during this winter time. All right, third and last one here, tracking. All right, ball tracking, something that I love to do, especially when I don't have a shooter or I'm with my, younger brother, we're on vacation, whatever, doing something that, whatever I have the means to get better with, I'm trying to maximize that. All right, so right now, I got a shaft. All it is just a plain black shaft. Doesn't matter, nothing pretty. All right, something as I progressed and gotten older, is I like to hold the shaft lower, right? I used to start up here. You could flip your goalie stick around, right? Hold it on the butt end, whatever. But this is emphasizing ball tracking. So CJ, he's just going to be with a bunch of tennis balls or regular balls. I'm going to be in my ready stance, right? Significant difference between our goalie stick and a knob, right? So what do you think you got to do better? You got to find that ball as best as you can. Your nose has to be behind the ball, and you got to try and save it with this little thing compared to that, right? That's difficult. That's okay, right? So if you're getting scored on with this, that's all right, right? Not every goalie's perfect. You're going to get scored on. You're not going to have a shutout every game. So having that mentality of, it's always a game to one is important and something that I think this helped me out with a lot, growing up and getting into high school and college. So here, right, in my fundamental stance, 2 hands on shaft, CJ goes anywhere, right? I'm not punching at it as hard as I can. I'm reading that ball, making sure, my nose is behind it. And if the knob's not getting it, my body's getting it, right? Staying square to that shooter every time too, right? That's another big point here. I don't want to be, if CJ tosses it off stick side hip, I'm not turning to the sideline and having my shoulders point to that sideline, right? That's making me smaller in the frame of the cage already with the smaller shaft, right? We got to use everything that we have to make a save. So as much as this is a point of ball tracking, it's really critical in our fundamental step and staying square to that shooter. All right, now on reverse. Same drill, but feet are in cement now, right? So as we talked about with the 6th spot, right? Working on just that, bringing our nose behind the ball, right? Getting to each spot, very similar here, but now we're actually seeing balls coming at us. So CJ's going to be same spot. My feet are in cement, right? I got the shaft. I'm doing my best just to hit it with the knob, right? I'm here. Good, right? I don't have to make a hard, aggressive punch to the ball, right? It might be right at me. So I'm nice and fluid, making sure that knob is making contact with that tennis ball. All right? So that's one layer, right? Now we can add a second layer. Now we're going to, our regular player stick. So I have my regular player stick, right? CJ now shooting the ball with tennis balls, right? You got to have softer hands when you're handling a tennis ball with a lacrosse stick. So working on soft hands here, limiting rebounds. So he tosses it, right? My feet are still in cement, right? There's one rebound. Feet are still in cement, right? Good. All ball tracking, okay? And then you can, get to your regular stick and then add stepping to it. All right? On that same note, instead of being up in cement, right? Now we can do a few things, with our hands and ball tracking on our knees, right? So now I'm on my knees. First layer, Same thing. CJ's throwing it. I got the shaft in my hand, right? Really working on that upper body motion to making saves, right? Go through a couple of rounds with the shaft. Now I have a player stick in my hand. Now I want to limit creating those rebounds. Still getting my nose behind the ball, right? Working on all the things we just talked about before. Something else I like to use. If you have it, a goalie stick, old head maybe, without meshing it, right? So same ideas as what we talked about before, right? You don't got meshing it. What's gotta really follow that ball, that body, right? So I can be getting warmed up with tennis balls, working on making sure that ball gets through the cross of my goalie stick. All right. So a couple, that's a bonus drill, right? Mixing everything in. Another bonus drill, if you have it, right? Something I struggled with growing up was off stick side hip, right? And I think a lot of goalies can say that might be one of the hardest shots in the game, just because, you know, it's a very uncomfortable movement, right? You got to have a lot of things work in your mechanics. And I think that all starts with just constant repetition of it, right? So this might be hard to show with this long pull here, but I'm on my knees. I'm in my ready stance, right? That long pull, I'm really trying not to have start touch the ground. And I'm working on getting my hands away from my body, right? If you have this long pull and there's a net behind me and I'm going like this, that shaft's hitting that net, right? We don't want that. We don't want this bottom hand in our back pocket, right? We want that bottom hand away from our body, right? The way I like to put off stick side hip shots and kind of anything from shoulders to hip is we want to be like a wide receiver, right? We want to go attack that ball, but we also want to receive it kind of with that, that car hydraulics, right? Accepting those potholes, right? I'm here, but I'm also receiving it. All right, same thing. Okay. One more other bonus drill, right, to off stick side hip that I actually got to give a shout out to Kyle Burnmore. I saw it this week, right? So we want to start against the wall, right? We're against the wall. If we don't have a wall, I got somebody that I can grab. So CJ's here if we need him though. We're gonna use the wall for now, right? I'm in my ready stance, right? And a lot of goalies from elementary school all the way up to the pro level, right? They love making this what do you say, bullfighter wearing the red drape here, right?
Ole, 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 ole.
Right? So we don't want to be doing the ole, making a C motion with their top hand. We want to be direct, right? Direct and working that bottom hand in and away from our body. So if we're against the wall in a ready stance, right? We're here, we're direct to that spot. Right? We're direct to that spot. If we go in a C motion, right? That head's going to be grazing against the wall the whole time, right? So if we're in a ready position with our stick and hands up, right? We're direct line, right? Rather than feeling it drag against the wall, making that C. All right. So those are two bonus drills. If you guys, have them accessible, right? All you need for that one is your stick, a wall, right? And if you got a long pole or, a next door neighbor has a long pole, even maybe a longer rake or something, right? Just really focusing on getting our hands away from our body, not getting jammed up. But that's everything I have, to go over. Hopefully you guys, maybe took or noted one or two drills that you haven't seen before that can help you in your game. Doing it on your own or doing with, grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, brother, sister, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever it may be. But you don't need much to get better, right? I'm in my basement right now doing a lot of the stuff that we just went over on my own or with my younger brother who happily volunteered. So, it's been great. And, Yeah, open up to any questions.
Love it. Well, first of all, show some love in the chat, both to Colin and to CJ, waiting in the wings whenever you need them. You know, we could all use the CJ in our lives.
Yeah,
that was awesome. That was awesome, Colin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
That
you.
was great. I could watch this all day. Watch you do drills all day, and there was a bunch of
Here, let me go get,
great
let me get
comments going in the chat about people loving the drills that you were describing. Awesome for the beginner goalie, but even, I mean, you as a pro, like these are drills that you do, right?
Yeah, no, I try and do them, one or two at least a day if I can, but try and do them weekly whenever I have the the time and opportunity to.
Yeah. So if you guys got a question, throw it in the chat. There was a lot of questions earlier about what drills do I do by myself. That was this. Like, go back, rewatch this session. You're going to get that. There was an interesting question from Coach Paul. So when you talked about, sort of receiving the ball and not like a lot of goalies are taught like, you drive your hands to the ball. Could you talk about, or go into a little bit more depth about what you were talking about there? About not necessarily, punching at the ball, but like you get your hands there, but like you still kind of receive it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's definitely something that I've had issues with even coaching younger goalies. Is a lot in my game. I like to kind of wait, react as accordingly as possible, and a lot of times, even watching some old film, right? I'm here and I'm making that explosive punch to the ball. Right. And that I think comes with having not, as much time reacting to certain shots. Right. But if I do have that time to really caress, from a 15-yard step down rather than a 7-yard, up the hash shot, if I have the time to, I know my hands are getting there, but I can also, use my elbows to accept that ball. That's when I'm, doing my best to do that and limit those rebounds. Because a lot of times, even in my game, right? Like if I'm, like I said, someone's coming up the hash and I'm here, I don't have that much time to react. I see it come out and I'm just making one aggressive motion. At that point, as long as the ball's not going in the net, I think that's big, right? But if you have that time where you're staring down a shooter from 15 yards and he shoots it, kind of stick side right at you, right? We don't want to be here creating that rebound. I'd rather step to it and kind of really accept it, almost like a wide receiver would.
Right. You're catching it, right? As opposed to punching it. Yeah, best as you can. Right. Exactly. And there'll be certain times, like you said, when, you do punch and give up a rebound, but that's much better than giving up a goal. But, as much as we can, right? Like catch it and then you got the ball in your stick and you're ready to lead that clear.
Absolutely.
Yeah, love it. Abigail had a question. So any drills to work on clearing in this context?
Yeah, so that's great. So something I would actually do that I think I had a lot of fun with it is a lot of you guys, I'm sure, if you have
that was
good sized backyard,
Just
you can hit your chimney or a wall ball thing that you might pick up from Lacrosse Unlimited or Locks.com. Right? But if you don't, you can use an empty trash bin or something, right? So something that I really tried to emphasize in my game growing up was working on those two trajectory passes, right? There's times in the game where you got to work on throwing a nice dart to someone, right? They might be a mid-air attacker might be riding, trailing their back, you got to get it to them quick, 10 to 15 yards away, or you make a clean save, someone's got to throw a nice lob, right? So that trash bin I would put probably 20 yards away, have 5 balls at my feet, and I would try and drop it in.
I like 1923.
Right?
I did like
20 yards away, try and drop it in.
Started last week.
To the dart trajectory kind of pass, I would try and grab as many tennis balls as I
put the
could,
first 2 episodes,
right? And a tennis ball leaving your stick definitely feels
really
a little
like the
different
blonde
from
hair.
a
She's so
lacrosse
cute.
ball. But that
I think
same
she's one of my
motion,
favorite
right? So
actresses.
I would
She's
stand
not
20
well-known,
yards
but I
away
love
in my backyard, and I would try and hit a specific tree, acting like someone breaking out for a pass, right? So with the tennis ball, right, you hit a tree with a lacrosse ball, you may not find it with it bouncing all over the place and it being white.
You
So
watch those
hitting it
football.
with the tennis ball,
that.
as best as you can. So those are two cleaning drills.
She's
that
made
we
out
do.
about sure we're
Love
gonna
it.
see
Yeah.
on
And if you don't
t-shirts
have
or-
that
Oh, yeah,
backstop or like,
Inappropriate.
my parents'
Yep.
place, when I go back and visit, they don't have like a
And then when
chimney
they-
or
she said
anything I
something
can
to
use. I
Dad.
just
Yeah.
went to the junior high school a
Something.
couple
He's like,
blocks
"Can you
away
please stop talking
and,
about
and
that?"
found a nice wall. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Could you talk a little bit about Noah had
yeah.
a question about stance, your setup, right? Could you
Yeah, that
give a
kicked
few
her ass
pointers
in
about
that
how you like to set up in your stance to be as
Absolutely.
explosive as possible?
Absolutely. Right. So, and I know we talked about it on your podcast. Is I think the most efficient and like the most similarity from a
Yeah.
goalie
It's really not.
to another
Yeah.
sport is
Yeah,
almost
but I
like
think we all have this thing.
playing defense in basketball or being a
I like- I
linebacker
do
in
like her a
football,
lot.
and at points, being a tennis player or a pickleball player, right? So, breaking down my
Yeah,
stance
really.
is, if I'm standing
think a lot
up
of them
straight up
talk
and
that.
down,
Yeah, you don't know it.
you jump in the air and you land.
They
That is
speak
where
English
you're
well, I
most
mean,
efficient, and
their
most
accent.
explosive. Kind of where your shoulder, your feet are
American.
shoulder width
Yes.
apart, a little outside that. If
Yeah.
that doesn't feel comfortable, maybe
But I heard
widen it
that
out a little
her
bit. But
and
that is where you're most explosive, just
Rick
naturally.
are going to have a rough
Okay, so
future or
here,
something. I
I'm
don't
standing
know
up and
why.
down.
The fans got
Right,
mad with
that's where I
some
land.
comments that,
I'm most explosive in
writing
this, right? And I like to kind of widen now. Right
yeah,
now,
they don't want
getting
Brooklyn
into my
Beth to be
hands.
messed with.
Yeah.
Right, if I'm holding my stick,
And now is this the last?
I like to go
I don't
my
know.
elbow to my shaft.
I don't know.
That's where my bottom hand should be, right? Almost like here, right? If you want to bring it up a little bit or down a little bit, that's okay. But that's where I feel most efficient,
That's what
right?
all I watch on TV.
Here.
I don't like
All right.
anything else.
Talk about my hands,
I'm
I
not a
mentioned
TV
before,
person.
all the way out, halfway in.
Well,
Right? I like to think of it as a boxer, right? If you're a boxer, you're not boxing like this. That's where you're getting all your
my
power
husband
from your
likes house
shoulder.
hunters.
We don't want that.
Oh,
We
Ah,
want that
so she
power
watches
from her
House
shoulder
Hunters.
and her
Please
arms.
turn it off.
All right, so all the way out, halfway in. All right,
And then
up and
oh my
down.
God.
You jump, a
Cool
little
case
wider than
that
shoulder
guy's
width
voice.
apart, all the way out, halfway in,
I've never watched
elbow down,
His
hand on
voice,
your
I just
shaft.
can't stand it. I want to punch him in the face.
Beauty.
Voice.
Love it.
I ran
Love
so-
it, yeah.
he's got a nice voice.
Let's do one more.
Me, I can't
No one
stand-
wanted to know, why did
Can't
you
do the
decide to play goalie in lacrosse?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Cool.
So growing up, I played with my older brother, who was a year older than me. We were on the same team, and our dad was the coach, and no one was the goalie. I was the youngest one on the team. My dad played goalie in high school and college, and he said, "You're hopping in there, Colin." So I hopped in around third, fourth grade, and fell in love with it from there. So,
Well, I do like.
yeah, that's kind of my story of how I hopped in the net and became a lacrosse goalie.